Every time the man left his house, he would place a pen core in the door crack. But when he came home this time, he found the pen core had been broken in half. The man realized at once that someone must have entered his home. Sure enough, when he walked into the room, he discovered that the police had installed cameras all over the house. To avoid arousing suspicion, the man had no choice but to stay in the room every day, pretending to study diligently. After observing him for a while, the police found nothing unusual about the man's behavior. What they didn't know was that the man had been using a bag of potato chips as a cover to hide his phone. He was keeping track of the criminals reported in the news and writing their names in the death note. Soon, the news reported that the criminals had died. When the police checked the cameras, they saw that the man was still in the room studying, so they had to rule him out as a suspect. However, just as the man thought he was finally safe, he received a phone call from a woman. She turned out to be the wife of the police officer who had died at the subway station. Since her husband had been killed while investigating the man, she was convinced that the man was the murderer. To prove this to the police, the woman kidnapped the man's girlfriend and lured him to an art museum that was filled with cameras. Everything that happened inside the museum was being watched by the police. In order to expose the man's ability to kill from a distance, the woman even told him her own name, hoping to force him to kill her in front of everyone. But the clever man seemed to have seen through the trap and refused to make a move. At that moment, the girlfriend broke free when the woman wasn't paying attention. The woman quickly pulled out a gun and aimed it at the man. To protect her boyfriend, the girlfriend stepped in front of him and took the bullet, falling to the floor in a pool of blood. The police arrived just in time. The woman was so scared that she didn't know what to do and ended up committing suicide out of guilt. Everyone thought it was just a tragic accident, but in fact, it was all part of the man's plan. He had already found out the woman's name and written down her time and method of death in the death note. He had also deliberately set up his girlfriend to be killed by the woman in order to gain the police's sympathy. By doing so, he hoped to join the police investigation team and clear his name completely. However, just then, a detective appeared with a bag of potato chips in his hand. It was clear that he had seen through the man's trickery. A much bigger showdown was surely in store for the two of them.